And testing 1 2. We are live. How's everybody doing today? Just a little bit of an update. I decided to come back on. We skipped the show last week because I'm not back fully, but I'm a lot better than what I was last week. But I've been battling bronchitis. Anybody who's had this knows knows what I'm going through. It's a lot of times on these long time, it takes a while to get over. But bear with me. My voice isn't back to full, and I will try to keep my thumb on the mute button and not cough your ears out. I'll try to catch the mute before I cough. But welcome back. Thanks for dropping by to the 18th Sunday afternoon live stream where we talk Atlas Earth and what's been going on in Atlas Earth. Let's see who is in chat. JW Carter's here. Welcome, JW. Thanks for dropping by. Says good morning. Scott's Thoughts channel is here. Says sup humanoids. Droid Dude is here. Greetings. Welcome. And Donnie S is here. Welcome as well. Droid Dude says on Thursday I got my second mayorship. Nice. It's once you start collecting them, it's just part of the end game. It's what you wanted to start doing. I have been kind of laying low this week. Like I said, I was sick, and I still am somewhat. I haven't even left my house really, except for to go out and get the mail and take the trash out. I do have some Atlas bucks saved up. I ended up finishing my challenges for this month in a very weird manner. Like we had been talking about the last couple of weeks since the month began, they had changed the how the challenges came, and I found them very interesting because I usually save up and do a bunch of challenges and wait so that I can do that first, second, and third level of buy parcels all in a row. And usually by the time I get to that point, I go out and buy my parcels, and it's enough points to go ahead and finish the ladder for me, right? Well, this month, I kept waiting on the third level buy parcels, and it just never came up. And we were during the SRB this last week, and the first level of boost during SRB came up, or I had that up, and I finished that off. We were still in the SRB, and the second level of boost during SRB came up. And I was like, I wonder if I can finish both of these at the same time. And first, in the top of my mind, I was like, I bet you I'm going to be a few hours shy, and I won't be able to complete this. But sure enough, I was able to complete both levels of boost during SRB during the SRB event, and that finished off my my ladder for the month. So interesting enough, I never even touched, and as soon as I did that, purchase parcel 3 came up. So with that to say, I've been sitting in the house trying to get better. I do have some Atlas bucks saved up. I do need to go out and buy like 50, maybe by the time I go out and get them, I might buy 75 parcels. So I might have a wrap-up video pretty soon coming of that. But like I had said in a video a week before last, because I didn't do any videos last week because my lungs and everything, I feel like I'm still only breathing at about half capacity. This is going to be a reinforcement month for me. In other words, I'm going to go around and reinforce the mayorships I have with a little bit of extra. And then next month I'll look forward to seeing, what my next mayorship is. Currently, I'm still at 4 mayorships. Okay, let's jump back into chat, see what everybody's saying. Scott's Thoughts channel says, hey. Hey. Rob Nunya's in here in the house. Welcome. Says good morning, everyone. Hey, it's Sherry is here. Welcome, Sherry. Thanks for dropping by. Neo Radio 713 is here. Good morning. Paul Stefanik is here. Welcome, Paul. Thanks for dropping by. I hope everyone is doing well. Well, I'm getting there. I think I went, myself, my wife, and my daughter all have this bronchitis, and we've went through enough Kleenexes and cold medication to be enough for like a platoon, I think, at this point. Okay, so let's see here. Uh, Robert says, glad to see you. Totally understand. ITM Stocks is in the house. Welcome. Yes, Neo Radio. I wanted to say that. I always forget to say that. Please, at the top of the show, please take a minute and press that like button because, or that thumbs up button, and subscribe if you're not already subscribed, because that helps push out the to the YouTube algorithm. Tell them that, hey, people are enjoying this show, so it'll push it out to more people. So I do appreciate it, and always helps the channel out as well when you press like on videos and stuff, and leave comments. You know, even if it's just a hey, yeah, I like it, you know, whatever. It helps with the algorithm, so I appreciate it as always. Tasman 101 is here. Hey, I love to see new names. Love to see new names. Scott's Thoughts says, Hulk smash that like button. Yeah. Preview This is here. Welcome. Welcome back. Lady Sharon is here. Welcome, Sharon. Have to wet my whistle a little bit. Sharon says, good morning. Weekly update. I'm 925-ish on the ladder, still saving for a tier jump. I have, well, my cat does, a veterinary appointment in the middle of bowling today. Still hope to finish tier 2 and maybe tier 3. Well, good luck with that, Sharon. I am done with the challenges this month, so I will not be participating in any more mini games. Frankly, I just... You know, I know that they're a decent way to earn Atlas bucks, and they've been fooling around with them, trying to average them out, and you know they've been doing a lot of changes with them. I just find them frustrating. So I participate in them to clear my challenges, and that is about it. I did find, you know, that they had reduced the second tier. The first tier was win 4, and the second tier was win 7 instead of 8. So that helped out a little bit this month. But Droid Dude says, I've got the level 3 for all mini games except for the one I needed today, which is bowling. Yeah, all mine are sitting that way too, because frankly, I was going to go to level 2 on all mini games, and that's about the extent that I'm going to go. Eric Wang's in the house. Welcome, Eric. Thanks for dropping by. Sherry says, that's weird. I got all the purchase parcels to pop before the SRB. Hey, Sherry, did you buy a state badge? Because I had the buy state badge sitting there the whole time, and I just never bought it because I haven't been out of the house all week. I'm wondering if that's the trigger. Ashley Stanfield is here. Welcome, Ashley. Good morning, and once again, thanks for supporting the channel. Scott's Thoughts said, I need to sup with Art of Gaming channel. Hey, it's Sherry. I said, I finished the ladder within an hour of SRB starting. Nice. Comprised Intel. Hey, welcome. No Pixels is here. Welcome. Thanks for dropping by. Eric says, after a month getting a mayorship, finally got 2 badge buys from that place. Nice. Yeah, it's sweet when the badge buys come through once in a while, you know. That's what I'm trying to kind of shore up the mayorships I have. Put a few, like 25 extra in each one of the ones before I progress to another one, just so it's a little bit stronger, you know. 2 of the mayorships I have out of the 4 seem to bring in badge income regularly. The other 2 just kind of once in a while, but they're smaller. So let's see here. Heidi Chalfont's here. Welcome, Heidi. Haven't seen you in a while. Thanks for dropping by. Martin Ray's here. Welcome, Martin. Donnie S. says, I have 3 mayorships for a month now, earned 40 Atlas bucks, and I think it's because I bought 2 badges. Yeah, if you're going to take over as mayor and you don't have a badge for that area, I would suggest take over as mayor and then come back the next day and buy your badge. There's a timing thing, and I'm not sure exactly how it is, because like I think it is that if you are the mayor the midnight the day before, you get credit for either way, it's a little bit tricky. What I did whenever I took over my last mayorship is I took over the mayorship, then I came back like a day or two later and bought the badge, and I got credit for my badge. So just keep that in mind, because there's this timing thing going on where maybe the person that was mayor the midnight the day before you bought the. I just don't understand completely, but I think you're better off if you just become mayor and then come back a day or two later and then buy the badge, and you will get the credit. Fine. Martin says, I made it to 20% badge bonus. Nice this week. Hope you're feeling better. Well, I'm getting there. Anybody who's had bronchitis knows that it can take quite a while. It's in the lung portion, and it's where it's like I feel like somebody's like squeezing my lungs, that kind of thing. But I'm getting there. Slowly, but yeah, I'm slowly working on the 20%. Let me check here. I just wanted to check my passport. Yeah, I'm still at 10. I still have 10 badges left to go for my 20%. And I was following Tasty Wallet's guide up till the fall last year. And then whenever I got to the point where it's like, well, you need to stop and then push all the way to the 20%, I'm like, I don't want to do that. So what I've done is, coincidentally, at the same time, the challenge ladder thing started in November, and we started getting those free badges. So I'm like, I'll just pick them up as I find them, and that's what I've been doing. If I can find a badge, if I'm around, then I will get a badge, and I haven't been going out of my way, because at this point in time, I have to drive like, I don't know, at least a half hour, 45 minutes just to get to a badge. So I'm not pushing myself. I'm picking them up whenever I can. When I do hit that 20%, it's just going to be super sweet. So congratulations. I know that is a nice thing to hit. And for those that are new, that is a flat boost that's on at all times. So that's the benefit of picking up your badge boosts once in a while. Okay, catching back up with chat. Heidi says, I was 251st place with rock, paper, scissors. First time I placed on a minigame. Well, congratulations. I find rock, paper, scissors kind of hard. Kind of hard to play. It's kind of frustrating, I guess. I don't know. But good on you if you got something out of that. Donnie S. says, I ended NR 15th of the Netherlands with Atlas Bowling. Nice. $142. 184. Okay, nice. If you can take away and it's worth your time, go for it. The one thing I like, and we talk about this once in a while, is there's just many different ways to play Atlas Earth. You just have to find your groove, what you like doing, or what you can put up with and not bang your head against the wall, and go with it. Sherry says, I didn't buy a state badge, but I did buy a city badge. Okay. Well, yeah, maybe I said that wrong. I had a city badge. City badge was up for me, not state. Yeah. Maybe I said that wrong. Neo Radio says, been working a second job, so it sucks trying to keep up. Did they do a super minigame Saturday yet? I don't think we had one this week. We're supposed to have like one a month, but I don't think there was one this week. My Financial Journey is here. Welcome. Thanks for dropping by. Says, I was mayor for 2 days, and then one of the big dogs came through. Ain't worth saving for mayorships in my area. Well, yeah, it's going to be a case-by-case basis. You don't get, I would say it's not, if you can pick up mayorships, it's worth it. But if it comes down to trying to come out of your pocket to get them, it's not worth it. Because especially if you live in an area where big dogs are lying, so to speak, I just wouldn't worry about it. Raujarat says, welcome. Thanks for dropping by. Says, I am about to take my first mayorship. I will most likely only hold it for about 5 seconds. I am taking it from a mini whale. She has 6 mayorships, but I'm fighting 3 of them. Whenever I take a mayorship over, I try to take over with a decent little bit of cushion. I try to take over with at least, 25 to 50 to spare, because that kind of makes them think about whether they want to take it back. I don't go in and take it over by a couple parcels. That's just me, though. I kind of plan forward, because the thing is that they have to plan it out and kind of think, well, do I want to go ahead and come out of pocket, or do I want to go ahead and spend my Atlas bucks to take that back? So, but good luck, though. Scott's Thoughts channel says they're enjoying the short ads. Yeah, they changed the ads this week. Annalise had put out, first of all, I want to say that I hadn't been able to put a video out on this, that congratulations to Annalise, who was promoted to the community manager lately in this last week. So she had put out a alert or message both on Reddit and on Discord that they had an update this last week, and actually gave us some information on what was happening in the game. So congratulations to her, and she is doing a bang up job. So if you see her, be easier on her and congratulate her. But she had put out a message about the update this past week. One of the updates was that the ads are going to start coming before the mini game, and then the ads, the amount, the length, that's it, had changed. So as far as on the, they're trying to make it better. They're trying to make it better. So. Pappy says, someone took my mayorship and bought a badge, and then I took it back before 8 p.m. and I got the payout. Nice. I'm trying not to laugh, because then I'll start sounding like a 2-pack-a-day smoker. I promise I don't smoke. Just got this stuff going on in my lungs. Christopher Marino says, 3 boosts away from finishing my last challenge to finish the ladder for the month. Nice. That's a good feeling, isn't it? Took a bit longer this month with the challenges. Hope you feel better soon. Well, I appreciate it. Yeah, I didn't really want to, turn off the show for last week, for want of better terminology. But I was just, this whole last week, I've just been not doing well. So, but I do appreciate it. Sherry says, I also bought 6 parcels to take over the mayorship, then bought the badge immediately and got the AB for it. Yeah, there's a specific timing. And I don't know, maybe we can, next time Annalise is on, we can ask her what that timing is. It has something to do with being mayor the at midnight or something. I'm not sure. I know that there's timing, and I know that if you get the timing wrong, then you cannot get the credit for the Atlas bucks, or credit for the badge. So whenever I did it, I just went in, took mayorship, and then went back like a day or two later and got my badge. So just to make sure. But it does help, right? You get that 20 Atlas bucks back. 20 here, 20 there always helps. Heidi says, just finished the monthly challenge today. Nice. It's always nice. I finished on the 11th, which oddly enough is the same day I finished last month. Even though it was 100 points different, I found that the rearrangement they did this month made it harder for me. I had to attend more mini games, and some of the other things, I did 2 of the AMP missions, but usually I would do 3. But since several of the AMP providers around me have left the program, I bought a t-shirt. I bought a Caitlin Clark t-shirt on the online service they have for sports memorabilia. I'm not a big sports head, but I've been enjoying watching her playing basketball for one of my AMP missions. Droid Dude says, Mayor payouts happen at midnight, UTC. If you become mayor, buy the badge, and retain the mayorship until midnight UTC that day, you get the payout. Okay, so the problem would come is if you became mayor bought the badge, and then somebody took it back for you. Then they would get the... Okay, I see what you're talking about. Okay, so maybe that's worth like a little short episode once I can iron that out a little bit. Heidi says, I am now mayor of my hometown. That's nice. I'm mayor of my area, and I'm not giving it up. Of course, with that said, if a big dog pulls through and beats me by 1,000 parcels, I have to give it up. But I continue to put more parcels down and solidify my position in my location. Scott's Thoughts channel says, I have not been on any car rides, or else I'd probably be finished the ladders by now. Okay. Scott also says they do pretty well on rock, paper, scissors. Neo Radio 713 says, I think everyone who has played rock, paper, scissors has probably watched the YouTube videos how to always win rock, paper, scissors. I think it's kind of random. I don't know how you can always win rock, paper, scissors. But I do know that I lose more than half the time. I mean, it's just a random pick. I mean, if you were face to face with somebody, I don't know. I'm not going to go into it because I don't have any strategy. GOS Banshee is here. Welcome. Says, at what point should I achieve 15% boost instead of buying the next tier? I'm at the top of tier 2 right now. Well, it depends upon what country you're playing from. Banshee, I would advise you to check out the Tasty Wallet strategy guide, which I put links in all of my videos, and you would go down about midway through the page. Just reference what country you're playing from, and he gives, in fact, he said that he's in the middle of updating it now. He gives kind of a brief, like, hey, do this up until, and it just depends upon what country you're from, because everybody has different tier levels. So we talk about this kind of frequently, and the tier levels and payouts are going to dictate, the math basically dictates for Tasty Wallet when it's worth it to stop and buy badges, basically. So Bladester's here. Welcome. For mayorship, do you keep the title? You have to stay mayor. You have to just continue to keep more parcels in that area, and you will stay mayor. If you no longer have the most parcels in that area, then somebody else gets the mayor title, and you will get a message that says somebody else took your title. Scott says, I already have the first 3 badges. Now I'm on my way to 150. Okay. Dan is here. Welcome, Dan. Said, would love for the platform to adjust the surveys so the pre-surveys don't waste your time only to tell you that you don't qualify. At least give a point. Yeah, I mean, they used to be a lot worse. For what it's worth, this time last year, the programs come a lot more. And we all know the surveys are run by a third-party company, and there's a lot to be desired. A lot of people have issues with the surveys. I've been having a lot more decent time with them than I did like last year. But by the way they work, by the nature of the way they work, yeah, they could work better. But this is the same company that also does surveys for a lot of these other different platforms. So I think it's just the nature of the beast. Could it be better? Yeah, I agree. But I don't think that it's Atlas Earth's fault. And I don't think that the surveys are going to change. The survey provider, I don't think, is going to change anytime soon. Last time I heard on the last Ask Anything type AMA thing, I think that they have kind of a longer term contract with them. So I don't know. Haven't heard anything lately. So Neo Radio 713 says, my advice is either ASAP or follow the guide on the Atlas Earth calculator. Oh, referring back to what he should do, yeah. Droid Dude says, if we go by Tasty Wallet's guide, you should go ahead and get that 15% boost, then tier jump until you get to 365 parcels, then go for the 20% boost. Sounds good to me. But once again, it just depends upon what country you're playing from. I'm skipping around. I'm trying to hit the chat as well as possible, as good as possible. Scott says, I'm taking over 4th place locally today. Nice. Donnie S. says, the King's Commissioner of my province has 223 parcels, so I have a goal. Yep. In my experience, Annalise says, I'm here. You have to be mayor at midnight, UTC. Yep. Lee says, quick funny survey thing, was doing surveys for the ladder and was choosing a short one that was supposed to pay 1 Atlas buck, didn't qualify, but got 2 Atlas bucks. Yeah, you know what I noticed? I've been doing the surveys lately, at least a few a week, right? And sometimes what you get is not really what the thing advertised, right? So it might say, 24 Atlas bucks, and then you get like 18 or something like that. I've noticed that randomly, but I can see your point's kind of funny. And that's also another change that has happened over the last year, is they used to not give you, once in a while, not give you like that 1 or 2 Atlas bucks, It used to be just all or nothing, right? Now, once in a while, you can get that 1 or 2 Atlas bucks, and it comes in handy, especially when you're trying to do surveys for the challenge ladder, right? Because then it counts towards the challenges. But I have found that the longer ones have a better percentage chance of actually giving those 1 or 2 Atlas bucks versus the shorter ones. So I've also found that the longer ones have a higher percentage chance of kicking me out because they're looking for more of a specific set of people, right? And I'll go into them knowing that, so that, well, if I get through and I get into the survey, it might be a nice payout. It might take a little bit longer, but if I'm not that specific subset of people, then I'm at least going to get my 1 or 2 Atlas bucks and get kicked out, right? So at least that's what I found. Lady Sharon says, I'm a little bit behind in the stream. I just got to the part where you mentioned that they changed the commercials. I missed that announcement. I'm glad you mentioned that, because if I don't, it's all about them trying to adjust the mini games and make them better. They're just trying to improve the mini games by what people are saying. So from what I'm taking, and like I said, I'm not a big mini game player, but a lot of people were happy that they moved the ad to before the mini game versus after, and I'm not quite sure why. I do know that there were people reported for abusing the situation and skipping ads and stuff like that, and I don't necessarily know how putting it before versus putting it after affects the situation, but apparently a lot of people liked that, so we'll see how it goes. Mel's here. Welcome, Mel. Says, my arcade broke and it took over 2 months to get my new games in. Support couldn't help me when I sent in tickets. Finally able to get the arcade goals for challenge letter. Well, that's nice. Yeah, and sometimes on that those subsystems like the arcade, if they can't help you, then I can't help you. I'm just a standard IT guy. I would tell you to do all the standard things like reinstall the application. A lot of times when I don't know what controls the loading of the arcade games. I do know that my arcade games kind of rotate on a weekly basis. Some weeks I have a decent selection. Some weeks they're just not much to pick from. So. Lady Sharon says, get a match and it goes into an ad. I got mad and closed the game, like I don't want them to get ad revenue if I haven't gotten my match. Oh. I have been finding this one gambling ad that comes up a lot lately, and I forget, it's purple. I forget who it's for, but there's just no way to close it. It comes up and it ends up giving you credit, but there's just no way to close the ad. So you have to swipe out, close the app, reopen the app. That's kind of been bugging me lately. I've reported it half a dozen times with the little report button, but it's just broken. Lady Sharon says, I'm not sure how I feel about switching to it before, honestly, but I'll live. Yeah. J.W. Carter says, mayorship payout is at midnight UTC or 7 p.m. Central. Okay, good to know. Raider Nation 91's here. Anybody know what the cost of landmarks will be? Landmarks will go live whenever they go live, and they will go live with the new system for, I'm drawing a blank here, for auctions. And it will be basically auction format. Whoever bids the most Atlas bucks for them will get them. Now, the last word, they said there will be 2 forms of kind of what you can earn off of them. They will have a special badge for them. So if you own one, then somebody coming by can buy the badge for it, and you will get badge payout, and then you'll get regular land payout, whatever that's worth. So obviously, everything is to be determined and can change until they go live. But as far as I know, I haven't heard anything further that it's just scheduled for this year sometime, which, we've been through half the year now, right? Oh, by the way, tomorrow's my birthday. It just brought that to mind because my birthday is about halfway through the year. Okay. So to you, Raider Nation, there's no set cost. It's just who bids the most Atlas bucks. So if you have one around you and you want to bid on it, then I would be kind of in the back of your mind saving up some. J.W. Carter says, I am 7,580 parcels away from taking over governor of Alabama. But once I get there, Smith Lake Snake will have 2,000 more parcels for me to catch up with. Yeah, I mean, as long as they keep playing, it's just a never ending. But it's part of the game, right? More power to you. Blood Crows here. Never tried. Does Atlas Earth take crypto? No, it doesn't. Atlas Earth pays out in just regular money. In fact, I just did a payout to PayPal before the show of $20. So you can see my phone here. I'm at $413. About 300. I forget what I'm at. 300 and something or other. That's profit. So the rest of that has went towards subscriptions for the monthly challenge ladder and a little bit of rent to SRB conversion. So the answer is no, it doesn't take crypto. Currently, it doesn't pay out in crypto, although that is on, I don't know what's the status of it. It's been to be, coming soon for a long time. So Manning had talked about it back in the day. There was something on the books as far as being able to pay out to crypto, not crypto in, but crypto out. But there hasn't been anything further on that lately. J.W. Carter says Dothanmayer from 2882 parcels, second place, has 485-ish parcels. Yeah, you just got to look around you. With the new map, it's easy to go ahead and look around. Before that map went live last fall, it was a lot harder. Lady Sharon says, I did have a how to win rock, paper, scissors pop-up on YouTube 3 years old, and I didn't even search for it. Yeah. Scott says, I could have sworn it was 50 in Canada, but I'm being told it's 60. Okay. Robert says, oh, I've been wondering about Poland. I have a friend there. She's the best. Wanting her to play too. Shout out to my Anna. Okay. Well, that's my daughter's name too, Anna. So we can just hope that since Annalise is now the community manager, that when she catches wind of when countries are going live, she'll let us know. Over the last, since she became, there's been like this interval between Manning of kind of a dearth of knowledge as far as knowledge being of what is going live in game and what is changing was just not really passed down from the company to the actual players other than, people chatting in Discord and, theorizing. Yeah, I'm of the nature of, I like to make a video if I hear official word on it. I don't like to theorize or anything. A lot of times that's just guessing. I like, if I see official word, I like to pass it on. And I really like to go in live with videos saying, hey, welcome, Poland or whatever country went live last, like Italy or something. But we just stopped hearing about it. So here's hoping that we can hear about that from now on. So Blood Crow says, will you ever buy the $99,999 bundle from Atlas Earth? I will not. Because if you've been watching my videos, you know that I do not buy Atlas bucks. I do not outright come out of my pocket to buy Atlas bucks. The only thing I have paid, which I think is a very good value, which I cover in a few different videos, is the challenge ladder. And once I got up to that $10 a month, once I got to the $10 a month earnings and rent, and I proved to myself that I could finish that challenge ladder, then I started using my rent to subscribe to the challenge ladder, because I've done the math in a number of different videos, but it basically breaks down to be well worth the $10. All the Atlas bucks you get back, as well as the legendary parcel upgrade, So, but I don't outright. My point is, I don't outright just buy Atlas bucks. Martin says, hey, Bronze, I've been speaking to the regulars, and for you letting us down last week, we'll accept 1 million Atlas bucks each in compensation. Well, I'm sorry I let you down, but I'm trying to fight back, and I don't even have that much Atlas bucks, so. I'm just scrolling through chat here. Todd Burnell says, Bunell, I put an R in there. Has anyone noticed on the time and how it will skip seconds? Example, after watching the commercials for the 2 Atlas bucks, I've seen the time skip a second or two. No. Those commercials are so, I'm not even worried about it. They're so hit or miss, So to answer you correctly, no. I haven't been keeping track of that. I don't really watch the commercials much. I just, X out of them whenever I need to. Karen Kaplan's here. Welcome. Thanks for dropping by, Karen. Donnie says, how can you earn more Atlas bucks when you are traveling? Just all the different things that you can do in Atlas Earth. I mean, if you're traveling and you have time, I would say try to burn through an arcade game. Especially if you're not driving. Don't do that when you're driving. But the main thing about traveling is, if you're going to be traveling, that's the prime time to earn to get yourself some badges. Because as the game wears on and as you get more, higher level, it's still relatively easy to find parcels to buy, right? But as time goes along, it gets harder and harder to find yourself badges. So if you're going on a trip this summer, you're going on holiday, save up your Atlas bucks and get some badges. So it all helps in the end. Karen says, are all the event games always the same? Any lag, no way to win, all dependent on hand-eye coordination? They're pretty much all very much the same, Karen. So about the best thing I can say is to restart your phone before the event. Make sure you have as good internet connection with the phone as you can, and just have the Atlas Earth app launched when you're playing the game, so nothing else is going on in the background. Just kind of do those things, and that can help you out as best as possible. The rest is just down to your hand-eye coordination, or in some cases like Warship, learning a pattern. And I'm not the best. That's why they're frustrating to me as well. So I'm on the same boat as you. Yeah. The new rock, paper, scissors, not so much. It seems to be more random than like guessing a pattern or hand-eye coordination. CCC Pred Army, welcome. Thanks for dropping by. Says, I just recently came from Dubai. Atlas Earth, just getting started there. Immediately became mayor of 2 places. Nice. Yeah, I'm surprised we haven't heard more out of Dubai because, you know, there's a lot of rich folks there. I'm surprised we haven't seen. I'll have to check that out because early on when they went live, the UAE went live, there was some speculation where some rich guy over there was going to take over, but I haven't looked into that yet. It might be interesting on what's going on in the Dubai area. Scott says, does your place locally have any effect on your earnings? Bronze Dragon, does your place locally? No, unless you're mayor, then you get payout for badges. No, your ranking as far as where you are, no. What counts, the in-game quote-unquote for Atlas Earth is acquiring mayorships, governorships, presidentships, prime ministerships, wherever you happen to be, just acquiring those. So that's why you hear, you know, after you've been in the game for a while, you start hearing people, that's basically what they talk about. Oh, I took over mayor here and there, you know, and it's more of a strategy. It's what the game comes down to. A lot of people might ask, well, what makes Atlas Earth a game? To me, it's more of a platform, but the gamification is strategy. In the end, the end game to me in Atlas Earth is taking over multiple mayorships and being able to bring in that extra Atlas bucks from badges people buy, you know, and it takes strategy and saving up your Atlas bucks and strategically taking over different areas to be able to make that happen. So, and that all helps out right in the end. So you take over a bunch of mayorships as you gradually and try to cement those mayorships so you don't lose them, and you gradually get extra Atlas bucks once in a while, you know, so. Alice says, hiya, hope you're feeling better. Yeah, I'm about 50% back, to tell you the truth. Thanks for the well wishes. Gabrielle is here. Welcome. Thanks for dropping by, Gabrielle. Retro View says, hey, Bronze, can you relate to some players not being excited about the redesign when there are bugs and functionality issues still, like putting a fresh coat of paint on a car with a engine repair needs? Yeah, but at the same time, from the R&D perspective, and like I said, I'm not a game developer. I am a system admin that works with a software company, and our product, I've been in on development of different stuff, and from the way Sami has talked about the game was designed, and they didn't immediately think that it was going to be so popular. So what I read in that, from a non-coder's point of view, is that the game could have been redesigned, could have been designed a lot better and more efficiently from the code perspective, right? So my take on it is that this might be killing 2 birds with 1 stone, so to speak. Not that I'm into killing birds, but meaning that it will give the game a fresh coat of paint, but it will allow them to redesign the code in the back to work more efficiently. So that's what I'm taking from it. So not that I necessarily really dig the new art style. I'll just have to get used to it, right? But it looks like it's going to be a much more efficient, I don't know what they're writing it in as far as code base goes, but it's going to be more efficient. It's going to be easier for people to run on their phones. So a wider spectrum of people across the earth will be able to run the game, and it won't be so hard on your phone. That's what I'm taking from it. So, but I can understand your point. But I think they're trying to fix 2 things at one time. As far as the mini games going, if you're talking about the issues with the mini games, they're just trying their best. I think it's one of those things that they're just doing little incremental things. You don't want to make big, huge changes because sometimes those things are hard to come back from. They're making incremental changes at this point in time, and I think that they're just trying to do their best. So. Rage Rot says, I think it is based on time in the survey. If you get kicked for the longer surveys, I put my phone down in the middle of a survey for 40. I went back, got kicked out, and got 62. Yeah, I don't know. I do know that lots of surveys, I don't really get what they were advertised to give me. And it's usually not as much. In other words, it's not usually more than what they advertised. Gabrielle says, I started Atlas yesterday. I should get my 5th land later today. Well, nice, Gabrielle. Just stick with it. It's one of those games that starts out slow, but you stick with it, stay boosted. Watch some of my videos that talk about how to play the game. Look at Tasty Wallet's guide for new players, which is always linked in the video information to get yourself a leg up and get yourself on a good foot started so you understand how the game works. It's one of those games that just time and attention over, just stick with it and it just builds. I've been playing, I guess, 14 and a half months now, and I am at 1,275 parcels. I do need to go out and buy some more. I've been saving up this week. I've been sick, so I haven't went out to buy any. I've got enough Atlas bucks saved up to buy another 50. So, well, welcome, Gabrielle. I'm glad you found the channel. Donnie says, when are the landmarks available? No word on that yet. As far as I know, they're still on the table for this year, but I haven't heard anything further. CCC Pred Army says, how to get into Explorer Club in Europe. I didn't find any goals to achieve. If you want to subscribe to Explorer Club, you have to go to the website and log into your account, and you can subscribe. GOS Banshee, it's one of those things that you can't do from the phone due to the cost. GOS Banshee, putting the ad before makes it possible to leave early on minigames if you messed up bad or if you see Rainbow Ultra. CCC Pred Army says, does everybody else suffer from having too little of the diamonds? I was traveling lately and still have barely found any. No, I have plenty of diamonds. I find that the best time to collect diamonds is if somebody else is driving. Just go on a little trip. You know, somebody that you know, or your better half or whatever is going down to the store or downtown or something like that. Just ride along with them and collect diamonds as you go. I carpool with my daughter to work once a week, and I collect diamonds during that, half-hour drive or so to and from, and I find that gives me more than enough diamonds for the week. So don't do it while you're driving. That is a good way to get in a wreck. G Foster 22 is here. Welcome. Says, I'm at 60 parcels. How many badges should I be working for by the time I reach 150? G Foster, I would say look at Tasty Wallet's guide and go by that. I link it in all the show notes. I think at 150, if I remember, you have to stop and acquire badges until you hit your 15%. But I would check out that guide because that's what I follow. Oh, thanks. Some people wishing me happy birthday. Thank you very much. CCC Pred Army says, check out Atlas Earth Calculator. It also gives some pretty good advice. Yeah, if you're new to the game and you haven't seen this, let me take off this phone here. Go to Atlas Earth Calculator and let me make my head smaller or move my head over here. Okay, so this is just atlasearthcalculator.com if you haven't heard about it. And they have lots of cool things, and he keeps updating this channel, does a great job. Once again, shout out to Matt Smith, who upkeeps this channel and has created it. But it's a great little calculator where you can input all of your, what you have going on. Just make sure all your numbers are correct with what you have totaled. And he even has a challenge and a tracker, tips and stuff like that. So he's been really putting a lot of time into this. You can see where I'm sitting right now is I'm at about $1.24 on a day average, or 54 cents just regularly, without the SRBs in. So that's where I stand. But yeah, it's a great tool. Okay, back into chat. Gabrielle says, how many years? 53? Ha, I wish. I'll be 55 this year, tomorrow. Got a gray beard to prove it. Retro Reviews says, I think the ads that won't close are the ones that take you to the Play Store again and again, will hold Atlas Earth back from reaching its potential. Many people don't have the patience to deal with that. Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily like them opening the browser and, well, they'll either do this. They'll open the browser and go to Amazon or something or other, or they'll go to the Play Store or the iOS. I don't think on iOS yeah, it does. Or it'll go to the iOS store. I don't necessarily like those. I'm on the same page with you, but I don't think that Atlas Earth really has no control over that. I mean, yeah, ultimately they could say, oh, we don't want your service. They could probably say, don't do that, but they're not going to turn away revenue, right? So I'm on the same page with you, but yeah, we'll see. Preview This says, they did say in the last video, won't be person with most bucks. They mentioned bidding for a chance to bid the landmark, but some sort of coin. Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right, Preview This. That means that the auctions won't necessarily be for just the most Atlas bucks. They will be, you will be able to buy, have you ever been on one of these auction sites that they advertise? I don't do this a lot because I think they're a waste of money, but it's basically like instead of just bidding, you pay for a certain amount of bids and then you buy those, you use those bids up. So you have to sparingly use those bids. So I understand. To me, it's like that. So they haven't put out any detailed information yet, but they're trying to make it so it isn't just like an all-out, the whales get everything. I think that's the point. So obviously the whales are going to get some of the larger ones, but they're trying to make it so some of the other of us can get some of the smaller ones. So thanks for bringing up that up. Preview This. You're right. As buying a landmark be permanent, so they're working out the maths of who gets that what, etc. in the Atlas Earth official video. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Martin says, I would love the regional battle for mini games to return even for fixed Atlas bucks. Yeah, well, that's something that just changed, so I don't think it's going to be changing back anytime soon. Here's the thing. They make changes. People complain, and then they listen to the people and make changes, and they put out a poll, and they make changes depending upon what people say, and then they make the changes, and then people complain again. So it's a lose-lose situation for them. They're trying to make it better, I think, but you're just never going to make everybody happy at the same time. So. Preview This says, well, I just said that. Happy birthday, Retro Reviews. They said their birthday was last week on the 8th. Yeah, Neo Radio says, wish they would give us birthday gifts. That'd be nice. What, an extra spin on the wheel on your birthday or something? Dan Froelich said, do you know if they ever remap an area? I live in a medium-sized town that shows only as Atlas Earth county points, but the town west of mine is smaller and mapped correctly. I would assume that they do at certain points. I've kind of looked at the map, and it kind of lines up with Google Earth. So I'm guessing that they use Google Earth. I don't know. So I don't know on the back end. I would assume that over time that they do have to do remapping once in a while. I don't know the details behind that, though. JWYMC2 says, will they make it so you can be able to purchase challenge ladder, etc. from current balance? No, they want you to subscribe with a credit card. That's how the world is these days. That is how the world is. It's whatever it is as a service. So gaming as a service, or in this case, they want to get your subscription, just like everybody else wants you to get subscribed with that credit card so they can charge you on a monthly basis. Now, at any point in time, you can go in and you can turn it off on your credit card, right? Just like anything else, Netflix subscription or anything. But that's just the way business is these days, So no shade on Atlas Earth. That's just the way business is. So to answer your question, no. They're not going to, I don't think they're going to allow you to come directly out of rent because they want that charge card on file so they can charge it every month. CCC Pred Army says, I just came from my travels and you can literally buy parcel in the middle of the ocean. Yep, you can. Nibakar says, I literally cannot play Warship. Well, I'm not great at it either. I get past that first Mega Bomb, and that's one of those ones where there's a pattern to it. And I would say that there's other channels that does the tips. I don't know if over on Beer Money Engine they still live stream, but they used to live stream the games. And they'd be better people to talk to as far as tips go. I'm not great at Warship, and I'm terrible at it too. So, just catching up with chat. I know we're coming down towards the top of the hour. I appreciate everybody stopping by. Please leave a like and a subscribe on the channel if you haven't already. Just going to try to catch up with a few more tips here. The Art of Gaming, thanks for the super chat. I appreciate it. Thanks for supporting the channel. Super sticker, rather. Nice rainbow. Lady Sharon says, okay, then that means I'm not going to go for landmarks. I refuse to bid in a format where I actually lose money. If I don't win, I should not be spending anything. That's how auctions should work. Well, I'm just going to wait until the details come out. When the details come out, I'll do a little video and I'll lay out the details. At this point, last time he talked about it, everything was very nebulous. Everything was still up in the air. And until we hear the details, just don't make up your mind. I would say that, kind of look around the map. If there is if there's a monument that is cordoned off, in other words, you can't buy parcels on that land, then, that's primed and ready for that. So. Sharon also says, not the Mickey Mouse stuff you see on the so-called penny auctions where if you lose some money. Yeah, you can see a lot of those auction sites. They're just a scam. CCC Pred Army says, I'm in German outskirts. Closest bigger city of 100K population is in a 35-minute car drive from my place. Yeah. Yeah, in-game coin, Lady Sharon. We're not talking about real money. We're talking about Atlas bucks. For somehow, there's going to be a buy something or other, a token, a bid token with Atlas bucks, and then use that bid token to bid, so that's how it's going to work. But like I said, everything is still up in the air, so we'll see how it is. Gabrielle says, the patterns are also explained in the guide you always link. Yep. The Art of Gaming says, I'm not able to get the Mega Bomb on the third round. If I'm lucky, I can get the second one. I can never get the third one. Yeah, it's frustrating to say the least. Well, thanks everybody for dropping by. I'm cutting it at an hour today because my voice is not holding out and I'm about ready to cough. But I appreciate the happy birthdays. I appreciate the well wishes, and thanks for dropping by once again and talking Atlas Earth. Please join us next week, same bat time, same bat channel, where we talk Atlas Earth for an hour, or maybe an hour and a half, depending upon how I'm feeling. So I hope everyone has a good week, and as always, this has been Bronze Dragon. I hope everyone on your side is happy and healthy, and hey, I'll see you in Atlas Earth.